Hey, what's up, YouTube? For those of you that don't know, my name is Joseph Lopez. I own digital marketing here in Southern California. This is going to be my part 2 video of SEO pricing, agreements, and contracts. I already did a part 1 in the YouTube channel. Go ahead and check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. For those of you that are just coming new to the channel, I'm curious. Do you guys do agreements? Do you do contracts with your businesses that you use? Go ahead and leave a comment below. If you like the video, guys, make sure to subscribe as well. And let me know on any improvements that we can do. So without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into it and let you know what type of pricing we do and what I found from trial and error and all this other stuff that I've been doing. So anyway, when I first started the agency, I was charging $250 per month, $500 per month, and that is a huge no. When I first started, I just said, oh, we can do SEO for this. The thing is, when you say I can do SEO for this, that means you are doing everything, and you need to go ahead and make sure you explain it to the business and you explain it to the owner or whoever the decision maker is. You need to let them know, what they get for $750, what they get for $1,500, what they get for $2,000. You can't just go and say, oh, this is going to be $250 for SEO. SEO is a lot of things. It's blogs, it's pages, it's keyword analysts, it's on page, off page, technical SEO, and just overall so much more. I mean, I can literally sit here and just kind of go through everything, but I'm not going to have an hour video here. So when you say I can do SEO, you're basically saying you can do this for $250, $500 a month. And I have been stuck where I had to do that and I got screwed. Now, you got to obviously go through everything. You got to make sure you understand SEO before you start pricing it out. Me, going back to the website that we had, let me go ahead and shut this off so it looks nicer in the background. But so anyway, with everything that we had, that's crazy to me. So these are huge no's, okay? You want to make sure that these are no. You're not going to price here at all, okay? I range anywhere from $750 to $2,000. I actually had a client one time that I did $4,000 a month for. Okay, and let me go ahead and break down what I did. Now, when you sit down with them and you're done going over your analysts and everything in video 1 that I talked about, they're going to straight up ask you, well, how much is this going to cost me? And then you got to tell them, your pricing. Now, I did it like this. I don't necessarily go through my packages of $750 to $4,000. I just tell it how I see it, and I price it right there. So we had a client recently that we just landed for $1,500 a month. I said, for instance, for this $1,500 a month, I said, you know what, you're going to need at least 2 blogs, per month. You're going to need, on-page SEO, technical SEO for the blogs to run through Google Search Console and make sure everything's getting indexed properly. And the thing is, you can't talk to them in this foreign language. You got to break it down for them simpler so they understand it, so they don't get bored or get confused. Because when they get bored or confused, why are they going to pay for something that they don't understand? So you need to tell them, we're going to do these certain blogs that target Hesperia, Apple Valley, Victorville to get more business in these areas. They have 2 locations, so that's why, you want to make sure it targets all 3 cities up here. You want to make sure you target surrounding cities like Barstow, San Bernardino. And again, this is just an example of what I'm doing. So I want to go ahead and target people like that. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 blogs, on-page SEO, technical SEO, and make sure everything else is running. At least make sure, on the off page, their socials look good, but you're not going to really jump into that because $1,500 is kind of, it's pushing it. If I wanted to do socials and stuff, you want to go for $2,000 a month. Obviously that would go with 2 blogs, on-page SEO, technical SEO, and off-page, which is, Facebook, Instagram, and any other platform. And maybe you post 2 to 3 times a week. Now, at the end of the day, you need to be smart about it. Obviously, you need to make your money, but you also need to be a human being. You don't need to go to them and be like, you know what, this is going to cost about $4,000, because at the end of the day, they're coming to you as as a professional, and you're a professional of your field. So you have reins on it, especially when they call you and ask you, to come in for this meeting. So obviously you need to be smart when it comes down to it. So how I break it down, obviously these are good prices. Same thing with here. This might be 1 blog, on page, and Google My Business. You want to go ahead and do that. This is a no. Just take it off already. You don't even want to look at it. So basically going into, I had a client offered $4,000, and he wanted it per month for the next 3 months. This was a little bit ago. Obviously, it was going to be 4 blogs. We did on-page SEO, technical SEO, off-page. We did all their socials, all socials, 2 to 3 times a week. We did reputation management, made sure everything was set there on that end, and we ran some PPC. So when it just depends on the actual client. They wanted a lot done, a lot quicker, a lot faster, and they wanted to just shoot from all angles. So it just depends on what they want. You got to ask them what they want, and don't be scared. You know how I qualify my clients and everything like that. Before you sit down with them, you got to see if they own a building, they have an office, they have their own trucks, if they have a payroll and stuff like that. Then you kind of know what you're working with. If you go to a mom and pop shop, that can barely afford $750, it's probably not the ideal client on what you want. Again, I like helping out the local community. I'm a chamber member with Victor Valley and stuff like that. So I like to help out the local business owners. Sometimes I'll fiddle with my prices and see what we can do. But it just depends. This is the kind of the pricing breakdown of what I do. Even the 4,000 is too much. If you don't know what you're doing, take that out. For the typical person trying to start their own agency, you want to stick around this. And again, blogs, on page, off page, all this stuff I could talk about in another video. I'm not going to do it now. So let's go ahead and go into agreements and contracts. We do month to month. Okay. Reason why we do month to month is because I'm so confident that we understand what we're doing, that when we show the business of what we're doing, they're not going to go anywhere else. They're going to just continue month to month with us. That at the end of the day, I don't want to lock in a client for 6 months when they're not happy with anything on month 4. You gotta explain to the client that this process takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months, maybe even longer, depending on the field. I'm lucky. I live in an area that's not super, super, super populated yet. If you were working with people in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, San Francisco, New York, you have to pay a higher budget. I think everything right here would either double in price, because that's the only way you're gonna actually get stuff going in those markets. But up here, I mean, there's competition. Everywhere there's competition, but it just depends on what type. It just depends on what type of people you're actually targeting when it comes to that. So like dentists, lawyers, doctors, gyms, tire shops, pool companies, stuff like that. But the pricing here is good for what you want to do. Again, jumping back into agreements and contracts, we do month to month. We've always done month to month. I've never locked anybody in a contract. I've actually heard a horror story from one of our clients that they're locked in for 2 years on just hosting for the website. Now, I commend you for that business move, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to lock somebody in that's not happy with our service. That's why we go month to month and we make sure the client stays happy and they're with us and they trust us. And that's what creates referrals. If you lock them in for a year and you're not doing your job or you slack off, they're not going to like you. They're not going to refer you to anybody. That's just a one and done client for 1 year, whatever, move on to the next client. I like to build relationships. The more relationships you build, the more referrals you're going to get. And that's why I'm a strong believer in the month to month, contract agreement. You obviously still want to go ahead and get them an agreement so they can see everything. But the majority of meetings that I've had, I've always got to check in that meeting, and then I send them the agreement, the invoice after. And that's just how I've always done it. I know there's people out there that are probably going to say I'm crazy or like, what the hell? But I've literally gotten checks before anybody has signed anything or anybody has, agreed to a full-on 6-month thing. I let them know, let's start here. In 30 days, you're going to see results, because you will see results in 30 days. You're going to see changes. You're not going to have a line out the door. Who knows? Maybe you get lucky. But you're going to see changes. You're going to see differences in the website, differences in your blogs, differences how things are being changed. You want to let them know that and literally tell them, give me the 30 days. That's what I did to my last client. I said, give me 30 days. And if you don't see anything, the worst that you did was, you wasted $1,500. Is that going to put you out of business? All the time, majority of the time, they say, no, that's not going to put me out of business. And then I tell them, $1,500 for 30 days, that's kind of when you throw in, that's kind of like a sales tactic. I kind of just tell them in 30 days, If you don't see any improvements and you're not happy, is $1,500 really going to bankrupt you? And they always say no. And that's even easier to get the client. They sign the check to you right then and there. You get them an agreement, you get them a contract, and obviously they're lucky enough to be with somebody like me that cares about the client, that's not going to just run with their money and not do anything. And then at the end of it, they're like, okay, this guy actually proves. I got referrals for him. I've gotten multiple referrals just off that, just off working month to month and letting them know, give me 30 days because I will show an improvement. But breaking it down from there, 750 to 2,000, that's how we kind of do it. Again, and I stress about it, you just got to be a good human being. Don't be a dick. Don't try and do anything wrong. But we do agreements, contracts month to month. I know people do 6 to 12 months sometimes, 3 to 6 months. Not something we do. Something you guys might want to take a look at it. Again, I know I said it in the video before, but I'm curious. How many of you do contracts for 3 months? How many of you do contracts for 6 months? And, other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here. If you guys have any question, comments, or feedback, make sure to like our